mark 12.5mm in from the edge of the wall. This stud wall's going to the plasterboard's going to go flush with the edge of the wall with the door on it. That's because we're going to scrim the crack line and plaster straight over the gap. Stand on the head and the sole plate so they're nice and tight to the floor. Measure from the top of these to the underside of the ceiling. This will give you two tight measurements. Split the head and the sole plate and fix these studs in between. To an external wall, you're going to need something like a 100mm screw and a brown plug using a 7mm masonry bit, or you could use something like a concrete fixing, which is a star head and a 6mm masonry bit. Nice tough fixing they give. On the other side, I've fixed with a 90mm Pazzo nail straight into the adjacent stud. You can either use 400 or 600 centres. In this case I've used 400, slightly stronger, more stable wall construction really. From the wall I've measured out 1.2 metres to the centre of the stud. This is so when I put the plasterboard up, I've got one full sheet landing straight on half a stud, so it's nice and easy for the fixings. From the 1.2 I've measured back 400 centres and vice versa. Prior to fixing, plumb the stud up either side of the opening. Also you want to be checking the stud is square, especially this is going to have a shower tray put in it. So I've used the 3, 4, 5 method, which is 3 foot, 4 foot, 5 foot. So it should measure 5 foot across the diagonal to make sure it's square. So the shower tray is going to fit in nice and square, and then the tile is going to produce a waterproof seal. Measuring nice and tightly, cut the studs in, okay, and then skew fix them with 90mm Pazzo nails or screws. Split the height of the wall in half and mark a horizontal line for the noggins. Always measure the noggins from the fixed point, like I'm doing here in the tape measure, because the idea of the noggins is to pull the stud straight, so always measure from the fixed point. Fix the noggins above and below the horizontal line. This just makes it easier for fixing. You can fix them in a straight line, but it's just a little bit more trickier to fix them. Coming up about 30mm, you want to fire 2 90mm Pazzo nails in one side and then one through the centre. This is called skew fixing, as you can see here. Okay, it stops the stud from twisting. Skew fixed. 2 in that angle, one through the centre on the other side. So top plate is the head plate, bottom plate, sole plate. Studs are upright, the vertical timbers. You've got noggins through the centre. This is called CLS. Okay, CLS. It's commonly known as 3x2, which is 3 inches by 2 inches, but it actually only measures 60 by 35. But on site, everyone refers to it as 3x2. The other common size for stud work is 4x2. Now I've plasterboard, going to plasterboard it in a minute. And from the wall, I want 1.2 to the centre of that stud because that's where my plasterboard's going to hit. Handy little tip, mark the centres of the studs on the ceiling and the floor before you plasterboard. Then you'll know where to fix. Best way to cut the plasterboard is Stanley knife in a level. So once you've cut it, fix it in place. Use your marks that you've just marked for the centre of the studs as a point. Use a 6-foot level to mark down on the plasterboard where your studs are. Also, it's really important that your screws are just below the paper, otherwise the plasterers will be chasing you around the job. Handy little tip, get one of these from Screwfix. Little plasterboard bit, stops the screw going in all the way through and making it look untidy, stops the screw just a tiny bit below the surface, really handy. Or the other way to do it is a collated screw gun, they're really good as well. All finished up, happy days, ready for the plasterer. What we'll do on this one is we'll scrim where it meets the existing wall so it doesn't crack, and we'll probably put a bit of blue grit on top of that existing skim, and then that whole section of wall there will be skimmed right across in one hit, so you won't even see that there's been a new wall. So all happy days really. Have a go yourself and let me know what you think.